This week marks 3 years since the U.S. withdrew from Afghanistan and the Taliban returned to power. Since then, the Taliban have established a new reign of terror, including banning women from speaking or showing their faces in public. They still won't let girls get an education beyond 6th grade. Joining us now, Pashtana Durrani, the founder and executive director of Learn Afghan, a nonprofit providing education to girls in Afghanistan. Pashtana, thank you for being with us this morning. What have these last 3 years looked like in Afghanistan for women and girls?
I think the last 3 years for a woman has restricted not only her ability to be a woman, but has only just, contained her to the fact that she can only breathe at this point in Afghanistan. And anything else has to have something to do with a decree that was issued every new week. So she cannot go to school, she cannot teach, she cannot work, she cannot go out, she cannot seek medical help, by the way, without a male escort, she cannot take a cab. That's the life of Afghan women right now.
How do you process this? I mean, this is a country with such extraordinarily rich history and culture. And then, during the 10 years of war and occupation, there was such a change in so many things. How do you process this rapid change?
I think for me, the one thing I have to make sure that people know is that Afghanistan has such a rich history, but also a very feminist-led history. So we have women and leaders from the past 3,000 years, and then we have women 100 years ago who were ministers, and then we have women in the 1980s who are leading rallies and stuff. So for me, I feel like Taliban have this sort of memory loss where they keep on saying that, oh, this is our culture, or this is how we go about everything. And then I keep on questioning this whole idea of so what does our history teaches us? Why are the Taliban disregarding the whole history movement of Afghan women? But then at the same time, I think at this point, it's really hard to process it. So the best we can do is just to make sure we get through the day, do our part, and just make sure that those who are coming after us are not left alone or left behind.
Yeah, and I mean, you are doing your part. You're living in exile in the U.S. while running an underground school for girls in Afghanistan. Tell me about that.
So we are right now at 5 schools, hoping to expand to 3 more schools in 3 other provinces. We are in Kandahar, Helmand, Bamiyan, Daikundi, and Herat. We work with around 661 girls as of yesterday, and all are from age 13 to 18, grade 7 to 12. Our hope is to expand to all 34 provinces and democratize education and make sure that education is as accessible as possible so that the next time our education is not weaponized and politicized by men in my country just because they want to get their way around everything.
So how do you accomplish that? Obviously, the hurdles that you face are enormous. And how can people help?
I think I don't want to disregard the people that work with me, and we as a team have done amazing stuff. There are women teachers who show up in person every day to teach at these schools. There are women, there are young students, young female students who show up to these schools. There are staff members who, in hiding, pay their salaries to teachers and staff. We had to smuggle, science competition things once in Kandahar. So I don't want to disregard them. I want to honor and make sure that we grace what they do. Because for me, I live in exile and I do this, but they live every day and still get to show up and do all of that. And I think for now, any Afghan women would ask the people around them and just, people of the world is just to share the work, support the work, volunteer at organizations that do all this kind of work, maybe even dedicate some time, talk about their work. That's the best they can do, because I don't expect anything out of the international community, the United Nations, or anyone else. And I'm not going to wait for them to come and rescue us. We're just going to do our thing. And I believe that people around us believe in that and would continue to help us support that.
Do you have any hope for the future of Afghanistan? Such a rich, beautiful culture.
Always. I mean, Afghanistan is a beautiful country with such an amazing history and amazing women, So my hope for Afghanistan is that in the next 10 years, who knows, all these 100 girls we're educating in each province, they will become all these amazing leaders who will work with their communities, build their communities. And at some point, we will, the world will realize that the Taliban are not the only solution to Afghanistan.
Well, maybe they're actually the only thing that is not a solution to Afghanistan. Pashtana Durrani, I thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.